Right, campervan electrics then. Now while I figure out where that lot's going to go, why don't you watch this little clip about cable sizing, because it's quite important. Right, electrics then. If you learn one thing from this video, make sure it's this. Campervan electrics are all about the amps and Ohm's law. And if you get it wrong, it'll burn you. So, you've got your appliance, which is 3 amps. Then you've got your fuse, which needs to be bigger than your appliance, but no more than 1.5 times. So we've got 5 amps. And then the current carrying capacity of your cable needs to be bigger than your fuse. 15 amps for 1 mil squared. Your cable needs to be bigger than your fuse, and your fuse needs to be bigger than your appliance. So how do you work out how many amps your appliance uses? Well, that's where Ohm's law comes in. On all appliances, there'll be a sticker that marks the maximum wattage. And then all you do is you divide your watts by your volts, which will give you your amps. So in this case, we've got 36 watts divided by 12 volts, gives us 3 amps. And then when it comes to cable, you will also need to consider the voltage drop, because the warmer and longer the cable, the more the voltage drop. With cable, you can't be too big, but you can be too small. And that's it. If you're not sure, get help from someone who knows what they're doing. There we go, consumer unit fitted, and it's earthed to the chassis with a riv nut just there. Right, so this is our basic setup. I've still got some cable management to do, but I'll show you that later. We've got power coming in from the van's battery, which is on a 6mm cable, which carries 50 amps, up to no more than 50 amps. We've then got a 20 amp C-Tech charger, which will charge the leisure battery, and that's running on a 30 amp fuse. So our 50 amp cable is bigger than our 30 amp fuse, which is bigger than our 20 amp appliance. So we need to get on with running some cables now. Right, there we go, that's all the first fixed cabling in. So we've got power in from the van, goes into the C-Tech charger, out of the C-Tech charger, into the battery, out of the battery to the fuse board, which then goes off to the other circuits. It also goes off to the inverter, which goes off to a socket which will come down here and finish up by this front door just here. So that's what that loom's for. There's going to be two 240 volt sockets, one for the inverter, one for when you're plugging on the campsite. There's also going to be a light switch and a USB socket there, so that's what all those cables are for. We've got our consumer unit, which still has, I've got to run the inlet too, but there's 2 cables come from that. One socket comes around to the front door like I just said, and the other one will go up on that side panel just there. That loom there is also for the switches for the pump, the inverter and the fridge, and a single socket and a voltmeter and the controller for the diesel heater. So that's what that wiring loom's for there. And then we've got our cable in for our fridge, which don't forget is 6mm, because these fridges are very sensitive to voltage drop. So all that will be covered over. The fridge is going to stand in front of the battery. So the next job now is to make the unit up that's going to cover all that over, and then I can do those last few connections for the cable. Is that clear enough? So there we go. Next video, I'm going to build some furniture, so come and see me then. Ta-ra.